My brothers, if you live long enough, you're eventually going to realize that life is hard. Life is not fair, and being human hurts. At times, I'm telling you, life will just suck. At times, storms are going to hit, and they're going to hit hard. You may not like this fact, but it doesn't matter. That's how life is. And over this past year of 2024, I've experienced this on a whole new level. Life is hard. Life's not fair. And being human hurts. That's what I want to talk to you about on this episode of the GRIZ Podcast. But I'm also going to give you 10 things that are helping me make it through the storms I've been facing in 2024. Because I know that many of you, like me, are enduring some major hardships in your life that feel so overwhelming. You feel alone, but you're not alone, my brother. The GRIZ is with you, and I'm here to lift you up. So here we go.
What we do in life echoes in eternity. They may take our life, but they'll never take our freedom. I can hear the bell. Get up out of the thing. You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Oh yeah, y'all know what time it is. You're listening to the GRIZ Podcast. It's gonna be raw, it's gonna be real, and it's gonna be relevant. We're here to guide, encourage, and equip you to live the manly life that God is calling you to live. It's time for you to step up and man up. Now here's our host, Jason George.
Get him, Jay.
Hey, thanks for tuning in and listening to the GRIZ Podcast. This is episode 257, and I'm recording this on Friday, November 8th, 2024. I am so grateful that you're here with me. It has been a minute since I have been behind the mic dropping episodes. Dude, listen, I love helping other men, but over the last 5 months, I have had to back off some of what I've been doing with helping men to actually reach out and get help for myself. You see, in many ways, I have been trying to get my own oxygen mask on, but getting my own oxygen mask on has not been as easy or quick as I thought it would be. You see, even as I record this episode, I'm still in the midst of a storm. I'm going through a really difficult season of life. My storm is not over, far from it, but thankfully, I'm beginning to get my legs back up under me, and I feel good enough and in the right headspace to be back talking with you guys here on the GRIZ Podcast, so I'm thankful for that. You know, if you live long enough, you're going to experience many different forms of hardship in this life. You will encounter times of intense stress, pain, suffering, heartbreak, and unimaginable grief. Just because you're a Christian, you do not get a get out of pain free card. Not in this life here on earth. None of us do. Life is hard. Life's not fair. Being human hurts. At times, life will just suck. Accept this reality. Embrace it, prepare for it, and I promise the better off you will be. Now, this doesn't mean that life is all bad all the time. This doesn't mean that there aren't good times, even great times. Dude, thank God for the seasons of life when you experience the mountaintops of health, connection, community, friendship, family, love, comfort, peace, joy, prosperity. My brothers, listen, enjoy it. Savor those times. Suck the marrow out of them. But just know that's not how it's always going to be in this life. It's unrealistic to believe that life will always be that way. There will also be seasons of life when you will experience the dark valleys of pain, separation, rejection, loss, loneliness, heartbreak, despair. You just never know what life is going to throw at you. Jesus said, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome this world." Meaning, take heart because there's a better world, a better life coming for all of us who are in Christ. He has prepared that for us. If your life right now and your health and your relationships and your career and your finances are all good today, that's awesome. But you need to know that can totally change tomorrow. I've seen it happen to those I care about, and I've experienced it myself more than once. Some of you listening, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have experienced it yourself. Some of you are going through it right now. If you're living your quote-unquote best life now, man, I mean it. I'm genuinely happy for you. I rejoice. But just know it's just for now. Don't let it deceive you. It won't always be the way it is right now. Life just happens. Even when you're doing the right thing, like Job in the Bible, life just happens. Major storms will come to you. In due time, storms hit all of us. As humans, I was thinking about how we strive so hard to find happiness in this life, but many times we come up short. Our quote-unquote happy moments, they're so freaking short-lived. They're fleeting. They're not something that can be held on to. And we're often left feeling dissatisfied and wanting more. As humans, we often feel this sense of entitlement to never-ending happiness. We think that in this life here on earth, we deserve to be happy every moment of every day. And when we're not, we think something must be majorly wrong with us. And we become frustrated, angry, confused, and even depressed. We literally make ourselves more unhappy over the fact that we're not happy all the time, instead of just accepting the fact that we're not going to feel happy all the time in this life. Let me say that again, because it needs to sink in. We're not going to feel happy all the time in this life. That's not how life is on this side of heaven. Nothing in this world is going to give you never-ending happy fix for this life. I love so many quotes by C.S. Lewis, but this one sticks out to me with what I'm talking to you about on this episode. He says, "If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world." You know, there's some good things and some good times in this life, no doubt. But nothing in this world fully does it for us. You know that. You've experienced that. We keep looking for our quote-unquote fix, but nothing in this world on this side of heaven brings the perfect and lasting fix that we want. So what do we do about this? Just accept the reality that life is hard, life's not fair, and being human hurts. Embrace it, prepare for it, and the better off you will be. Stop looking for something in this life here on earth that this life here on earth can't fully provide. Every single day, horrible things happen to people, to good people and bad people, to the Christian and to the non-Christian, to young and old, to the rich and the poor. Every single day, horrible things happen to people. This is the reality. of us living in a fallen world with fallen people and fallen bodies, with fallen minds, with fallen angels all around us who seek our demise. My brothers, listen. Have you forgotten where you live and what's really going on all around us? This world, this life, this ain't home. As C.S. Lewis said, we live in quote unquote enemy occupied territory. This life here on earth is the journey. It's not the destination. Just pause for a few minutes and think about it, man. Like, look around at the world we live in. Think about the pain and the problems, the extreme poverty, violent crimes, constant wars, terrorism, prisons, refugee camps, the weather disasters, illnesses, diseases, injuries, prejudice, discrimination, injustice, betrayal, abuse, separation, divorce, lawsuits, taxes, debts, bankruptcy, death. All over the world, people are suffering in some sort of way. Throughout my life, God has allowed me to go through some amazing good times, but He's also allowed me to go through some incredibly dark and difficult times that I thought would destroy me, but they didn't destroy me. God has always gotten me through them and has even ended up using them for some sort of good. He did a Romans 8:28. My darkest and most difficult times have only made me stronger, wiser, better after I came through them. When I was in them, dude, it just sucked. There were times I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I've had times like that recently. I'll have times like that again in the future. The dark and difficult times will either make you or break you. The choice is yours. There are times when life can be so difficult, so dark, that you just want God to kill you and take you home to heaven. Like Job, there are times when you will even curse the day that you were born. It can get that bad. I've been there a few times. Some of you know that level of pain and suffering. Some of you don't. I don't wish that upon you. Let me share with you some of the dark and difficult times in my life, and this isn't for anyone to feel sorry for me. I don't want your pity. I don't want or need you to feel sorry for me. Some of you listening, you've been through far worse than me. I share my hardships with you simply to help those of you who are deeply hurting right now, who don't know if you're going to make it. I want you to know that I have deeply suffered, and I've made it. And I'm still going through some deep suffering, but I'm making it one day at a time. Listen, all I'm saying is, when I hear the stories of others who know deep pain and suffering and how they got through it, it helps me. It helps me to know that I'm not the only one going through the suck, and it makes me think, if they can make it, then I can make it too. I love stories of people surviving great hardships. It motivates me to press on in my own hardships. And that's what I'm hoping that what I'm about to share with you from my life will do for you, that it'll motivate you to keep pressing on, because I'm nothing special. And I'm making it one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, still climbing, sometimes still crawling. If I can do it, you can do it. You know, from the moment I was born, there was hardship in my life. I'm not kidding. I came into this world battling hardship, and I forgot about this. My sister recently reminded me. When I was an infant, I had horrible coughing spells that caused me to stop breathing. I mean, I would turn blue. And my parents took me to Children's Hospital in Washington, D.C., but the doctors didn't really know what to do to help me. They couldn't find a cause or a cure, and I was sent back home. My mother was very worried, and night after night, she slept by my crib. She had already lost one infant son, my brother Chris, who I never met. He died. And she was very nervous about losing me as well. But then my mom read something in her Bible about healing in the book of James, where you ask for the elders of your church to come and anoint the sick person with oil and pray a prayer of faith over that sick person. She was desperate. Nothing else was working. So she asked our pastor and elders to come do that over me. So the pastor and elders did so. And I was in a coughing fit. And guess what? True story. It worked. I never had another coughing spell like that the rest of my life. My older sister was recently reminding me of this event. She remembers it. As an infant, I'm too young to remember it. My father also spoke to me about this several times throughout my life, confirming it was a true story. I remember him saying, "Son, I've never seen anything like it. God healed you as a baby." After I came through that experience, I had some great childhood moments and memories for a few years, but it didn't last that long. More suffering was to come just a few years later. When I was 5 years old, my mother tragically died of pancreatic cancer. So at 5 years old, I become motherless. It was devastating. My mother was everything to me. Love, safety, stability, protection, provision, a teacher, a comforter. Then one day, she's all of a sudden gone. No kids should have to grow up without a mother. But this is how life goes for some kids. Life just happens. Life is hard. Life is unfair. Being human hurts. After my mother's death, my father, he quickly remarried a woman he should have never married. He remained married to her for about 7 years, and I won't get into all the details, but during that time, it was a hellacious marriage, family environment, if you want to call it a family. I don't. I was verbally, physically, and sexually abused during that time that he was married to her. I saw and heard some things that no kid should ever have to see or hear. I experienced some things that were done to me that no kid should ever have to experience. It wounded me. It left deep scars. It damaged me. At the age of 12, thankfully, my father and I finally left my stepmother and my stepbrothers, and we went to live with my older brother, Mark, who I hadn't seen for like 7 years. And I ended up living with my older brother, Mark, from the age of 12 to 18. He actually became my legal guardian, and my father, he didn't really have much to do with my life after that. He wasn't mean, he wasn't abusive. He was always nice, told me he loved me, but he was just distant, disinterested, uninvolved. He went off with his new rich girlfriend and eventually remarried another lady. And I was thankful to live with my brother, but it wasn't an ideal situation. Life is hard. Life is unfair. Being human hurts. And I remembered something else that, another unexpected painful event occurred right after I went to live with my older brother. I was 12 years old and I was out riding my bike one night and I stopped at a stop sign to wait for some traffic to pass. And suddenly a truck came right at me and it accelerated. It's at nighttime, so I'm just seeing headlights coming and then it kind of turns towards me and it accelerates. I can hear it speeding up. And I'm at the stop sign with one foot on the curb and there's like no time to react. I'm waiting for him to go by, hopefully, but now he's just coming at me fast. It's all happened within seconds. Found out later he was a drunk driver, driving an F-150 truck. That night he hit me on my bike and he almost killed me. I was taken away by ambulance and hospitalized, and with all the injuries, it took me about a year to fully recover from that. You know, for a long time after that, I couldn't even deal with seeing headlights coming at me. It freaked me out. For a long time, I wouldn't ride a bike on the road. You know, he hit me, he crushed me. He broke my leg completely in half. I flew off the bike about 20 feet, landed on my head. I didn't have a helmet on. Fractured my skull. I was bleeding out of my ears and my nose. I was cut up all over my legs from the bike chains and the sprocket and the pedals just digging into me. To this day, I still have chronic back pain issues related to that unfortunate incident. I deal with scoliosis. It gave me curvature of the spine, which causes really bad herniation of disc in my lower back. And I just live with chronic pain in my lower back for decades now. All from a drunk driver. None of this was my fault. I'm just a kid riding his bike at night. Stopped at a stop sign, doing the right thing. Did it royally suck? Does it still suck? Yeah, but guess what? You know what I'm going to say. Life is hard. Life is unfair. And being human hurts. Another storm hit me during my college years. I went through like a few years when some of my closest family members completely rejected and abandoned me. And I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't disrespect them or curse at them. I didn't try to hurt them. I didn't get in a fight with them. They just tried to hurt me basically because they didn't like the path I was choosing for my life. And I wouldn't let them control me anymore. And I stood up for myself. And so they completely cut me off and had nothing to do with me for like 2 years. It was one of the most hurtful and loneliest seasons of my life. Just devastating, man. When I was home from college on breaks, I had to stay at a friend's home or at a Christian camp. It's a Christian camp I worked at in the summer. Even through Christmas break, that's what I did. It's where I had to stay, either at a friend's house or at the Christian camp. No real family. Did it suck? Yes. But guess what? Life is hard. Life is unfair. Being human hurts. And I kept going. God got me through it. More hardship was to come in my life. In my late 20s, I was serving as a youth pastor, and for the most part, life was going really well. And I suddenly, began having like unusual, out of nowhere anxiety, panic attacks, depression had come on. There were chronic headaches, migraines, and there was a strange, like debilitating fatigue that would just hit at random times, like not normal fatigue, like after you eat or something. And I didn't know what it was. Just came out of nowhere. I had never in my life dealt with any of that. My doctors couldn't figure it out. And so my primary care just said, man, I think it's anxiety. I think you got an anxiety disorder. And he gave me some meds. But it didn't fix it because it wasn't an anxiety disorder. Looking back, knowing what I know now, I believe this was the beginning stages of Lyme disease, and I didn't know it. I would later be diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2017. All I knew is that, these unusual symptoms that came on, it was one of the darkest and most difficult times of my life. I was close to losing my ministry job over it, and it majorly impacted my marriage in a negative way. Because my wife was just looking at me like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, where's this coming from? What happened to my strong, confident, stable, happy, healthy husband? I didn't know what was going on with me. As I said, it just came out of nowhere. But I know now that those symptoms were telltale signs of the onset of Lyme disease. I just didn't know. Life is hard. Life is unfair. Being human hurts. So life got better for a while. I still had some symptoms here and there. And then in my late 30s into my 40s, I began dealing with increasing health problems. And I did not know why. I couldn't figure it out. There were chronic headaches, migraines. They were becoming more intense, more frequent. Brain fog, insomnia, chronic fatigue, chills. I was having night sweats, increased anxiety, panic attacks out of nowhere for no reason. My muscles would twitch. I would feel weak. I would have a malaise, flu-like feeling, increasing muscle and joint pains, even when I didn't work out. And I would get a strange rash, like on the back of my legs and even on my backside. My wife would make fun of it. She's like, "What's the rash on your butt?" I didn't know. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with me. Neither did the doctors. We did all the basic blood work tests and they couldn't figure it out. Finally, in 2017, I was up speaking at a youth camp in New Hampshire, and I had a college-age girl listening to me describe some of the hardships I've been battling. I was talking about some of the physical symptoms and what God was teaching me through my pain. And she was the one that came up to me afterwards, and she actually said, "Have you ever been tested for Lyme disease?" And I said, "No." And she said, "You need to get tested for Lyme disease. It sounds like you have Lyme." I said, "Do you have Lyme?" And she said, "Yes, I've battled it for years. It's horrible." And I said, "Tell me your symptoms." And our symptoms were so similar. Her name was Megan. Thank you, Megan. Because of Megan, I went and got tested. And sure enough, I found out from the test and from also meeting with a Lyme doctor specialist that I not only had Lyme disease, but I was also battling some other tick-related infections like Bartonella, which can cause the strange rash on your body, on your backside, your legs. The other name for Bartonella is called cat scratch fever. It looks like cat scratches, the rash. That's exactly what it looked like on me. I just didn't know what it was. And I had another one called Babesia, another infection that is a parasite that attacks my red blood cells, all from the tick bite. These infections greatly compromised my immune system. They led to frequent bouts with chronic Epstein-Barr virus, or what you may know as mono. I had mycoplasma pneumonia several times. I developed SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I have medical tests for all of this, validated. This is what you have. And I'm like, what is going on with my body with all these crazy things? All a result of what these tick infections have been doing to me, destroying my immune system. I was just so much more susceptible, and stuff that was in my body from years ago, like the Epstein-Barr virus, would just reactivate. It's been crazy. So over the last 7 years, I've been to 4 different Lyme disease specialists, and I have spent tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket that insurance wouldn't cover on my health related to this disease. You know, from the doctor visits to ER visits to tests to medications to herbal supplements, etc. And to this day, dude, today, Friday, November 8th, 2024, I'm still dealing with issues related to Lyme disease and the other tick-related infections. I'm not through it all the way. It has caused all sorts of chronic pain, debilitating fatigue, and many other difficult issues that I have to work through. In 2020, it's what actually caused me to come off the road from being an itinerant speaker. I just became too sick, and it was a Lyme disease doctor that I was meeting with, getting treatment from. She said, "You have to come off the road. You're breaking down. You've got to focus on your treatment." And guess what? Life is hard. Life is unfair, and being human hurts. Then this year, 2024, what a year it has been. At the beginning of the year, I began having some heart problems that came out of nowhere. And I went to the ER twice over it, and they really couldn't find anything major. They saw a few things on some of the tests, and they sent me home. They told me to follow up with a cardiologist. And my wife got frustrated with me. She thought it was just anxiety messing with me. She was like, "You don't need to go to the ER. What are you doing?" And I kept trying to tell her, it wasn't. I know anxiety, and I also know my body, and I know when something's off, and I'm like, something's off. So this one morning happened this past March. My heart issues went to like a new level. My wife was out of town on a business trip, and I was trying to get my youngest daughter off to school and act like everything was fine. I just faked it in front of her. I helped her get her breakfast and get her lunch and helped her put all of her stuff in her car, and she drove off to school, and I was like, love you, bye-bye. And then I went back inside and I literally just fell on the couch. I was having strange chest pains, palpitations. I began feeling very sick, very weak. And I went into what's called AFib. I didn't know it. I didn't even know what AFib was. And I had a heart rate of over 200 beats per minute, but I didn't know that because I didn't wear an Apple Watch at the time or anything like that. I didn't have a Garmin. I was home alone. I started profusely sweating, drenching. I was nauseous. I was ready to vomit. I ran to the toilet. As I'm trying to get to the toilet, I'm grabbing the wall because I'm dizzy. I'm staggering. And I'm feeling like this strange, numb tingling on the left side of my body. And I was literally, dude, I was about to have a stroke or a heart attack. And I was like, it scared me. It scared me bad. And I don't know how, but I was like, I'm not waiting for an ambulance. And I drove myself to the ER and I prayed the whole way there. And I was like, if it gets really bad, just pull over and as quick as you can, put it in park. And I had already had like 911 on my phone. I just had to like hit the button. And I know that was stupid. I could have killed someone. You know, I felt like I was going to pass out while I'm driving, but the hospital wasn't that far from my house. And as soon as I got in the door, man, like the ER staff saw me stumbling in. And they didn't even like check me in. They just took me right back to the room for testing. And the moment they had me hooked up to the monitors and saw my results, like they called for more staff, like 10 staff people came into the room. And that's never happened when I've been in the ER. So I knew it was like really serious. And I could tell by their faces as they looked at me and then they look at the monitors and they'd look at me. Dude, I could tell they were scared. I could see it. The doctor came in and he's looking at me, looking at the monitors, and he looks very concerned. He's dead serious. He's not joking. There's no small talk. And he's like, you need to sign this consent form. I'm like, what am I signing? What's going on? And he's like, listen, you're in AFib. You're at over 200 beats a minute. You're in bad shape right now. He goes, I'm going to have to shock you and get your heart back into rhythm, try to get you out of AFib. I was like, what's that mean? Like, you mean shock, like with the pads and stuff? And he's like, yes, Jason, I need you to sign this. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just scribbled it. And I said, give me my phone. I need you guys to help me. I got to shoot a quick text to a friend and just tell him I'm in the ER so he can contact my wife. My wife's in California. She's on a business trip. And so we just were able to get a quick text off to my friend Aaron. And Aaron just took it from there, was able to contact my wife. And my wife had to call the hospital because she's like, what the heck is happening? I couldn't talk. So the doctor ended up shocking me twice to get my heart back into rhythm. Cardiologist comes in and he's like, man, I got to put you on like 4 heart meds to keep you stable, keep you out of AFib. You're back into rhythm, but we got to keep you on these meds. The problem was all those heart meds that he gave me would require me to go off all the meds and herbal supplements that I was taking to help me with my Lyme disease and the co-infections that I deal with. So I was like, man, I've got to get off these heart meds, especially the blood thinner. I hated being on the blood thinner. I think that thing's just dangerous, you know. So I read about a heart surgery that can prevent AFib that had like a 70% success rate. So I talked to my cardiologist about it, and we met with a surgeon that he was affiliated with that does that kind of surgery. And they both thought it was a good idea. They said, are you up for it? I said, I'm up for it, even with all my issues. I said, I feel like I don't have a choice. I got to do this because I got to get back on these meds to help me with Lyme disease and other stuff. So about a month after that AFib episode with over 200 beats per minute that almost caused me to stroke out or have a heart attack, I had a heart surgery to try to repair the AFib condition. It was called a heart ablation. And it went well. But it takes anywhere from like 3 to 6 months to fully recover from it. And again, this was all this year, 2024. It's just been a crazy year. So for months after that surgery, I couldn't do much. I couldn't lift much. I couldn't walk much. I couldn't mow my own grass. I had to hire a guy to cut my own grass. I hated it. I like working in my yard. It was humbling, dude. I was pretty much stuck on the couch, working from home. It sucked. But guess what? Life is hard. Life is unfair. Being human hurts. Just accept it. Embrace it. And the better off you'll be. And throughout that time of recovery, I began struggling with some anxiety. Like, it was hitting me really hard. You see, the whole heart thing really shook me up. After the heart surgery, even though they said it went really well, my heart was doing weird stuff through the healing process. It was skipping beats. There was random pains. There was palpitations, waking me up in the middle of the night. And it was messing with me mentally. It was like I had a form of like PTSD. I kept thinking about that morning when I was about to have a heart or stroke, and I just didn't want it to happen again. So I got this bad anxiety, and it's just messing with me. So I began seeing a therapist to get some help and work through all of it mentally. My cardiologist, I talked to him about it, and he told me, he's like, dude, it's very normal to deal with anxiety after a heart scare like you just had. And he said, I see it all the time. So I was like, well, I'm going to a therapist. He goes, I think that's a good idea. And he goes, there's nothing wrong with you getting on some anxiety meds if you need to. And I was just really feeling down about all of my health issues because it was hindering me from being able to work the way I wanted to work, to socialize the way I wanted to. I hated it. I enjoy working. I love having fun. I love spending time with family and friends. I love being outdoors and doing adventures like biking and hiking and kayaking and fishing. And I just couldn't do the things I wanted to do. It was depressing. So I was working through all of that with my therapist, and we were making some progress. And then on top of all of that, out of nowhere, as I'm working through my health issues and trying to improve my mental game, I get hit with the most painful family, I'll just call it drama, I've ever dealt with in my life. I'm not able to talk about the specifics. I won't do that. This isn't the place for that. All I can say is that it has been the most difficult storm I've ever endured, and it's not over. More difficult than Lyme disease, more difficult than the heart problems, more difficult than losing my mother. The most difficult storm I've ever endured. It's not over. I'm still in the midst of it. And it is the main reason why I haven't been podcasting for the last 5 months. It has completely wrecked me. And that's all I can say at this time. Life is hard. Life is unfair. Being human hurts. And why do I tell you all of this about my life? Because when I tell you life is hard, life's not fair, and being human hurts, I don't know this from reading it in a book. I know this because I've lived it, and I'm still living it. My life is hard. My life is unfair. I hurt. Every single day I hurt. I've been angry at God. I've questioned God. I've doubted God. I've been depressed. I've been scared. At times I've just wanted to die and go to heaven. At times I've so wanted to go back to old sinful ways, to try to medicate my pain, like with the use of alcohol or pornography. But thank God, I've not once turned to those things. For a while, I was in a dark pit. 2024, man, when all of it hit, I began to feel sorry for myself. I began to let myself be the victim. I began to isolate. I began to bottle things up. And that's bad, dude. Isolation will destroy you. Bottling things up will destroy you. And I just had this one day where I just broke in a good way. And I had enough. I saw myself spiraling down. I knew where it was going to lead. And I said, no more. I had to kill the victim mentality. I had to kill the woe is me mindset. I knew I had to make some serious changes or I wasn't going to make it through this storm. So what did I do? I'm going to tell you. And this is what I'm still doing to help me through the storm because I'm still in it. Number one, the first thing I did was draw closer to God like I never have before. And this isn't to make me sound super godly. I just tried to draw closer to him. Like, where else was I going to turn? I'm talking prayer, scripture reading, especially the Psalms, just planting myself in the Psalms, worshiping God through my pain, stress, anxiety, grief, depression, regardless of how I felt. I worshiped anyway. No warm fuzzies, no smoke machine or lights. I don't need Brandon Lake in the house. Life sucked and I worshiped anyway. I would sing songs, hymns. I was in great pain and I worshiped anyway. I was full of anxiety and I worshiped anyway. I was crushed and depressed and I worshiped anyway. I praised God right in the midst of the storm. It's what I'm still doing. In Philippians, Paul says, rejoice always. And again, I will say rejoice. He says it doesn't matter what our circumstances are. He was in prison when he wrote that. We can still rejoice. Worship is not dependent upon our feelings. In my opinion, when you worship, even when you don't feel like worshiping, when life sucks, that's real worship. That's the kind of worship we see coming from Job, Jeremiah, the Apostle Paul. Number two, what did I do to help me get through the storm? What am I still doing? I reminded myself, you're just passing through this life, Jason. This world is not your home. This ain't heaven. This life is the journey. It's not the destination. And because of God's grace, this life is the only hell you'll ever know. And I reminded myself continually of my favorite quote by Winston Churchill. If you're walking through hell, keep going. Just keep going. Number three, I stopped isolating myself and I stopped bottling up. I began to reach out to others for help, for prayer, for support, for advice, guidance, because I didn't know what to do. As I told you, I began seeing a therapist online once a week to work through all my junk. I also reached out to a few really close friends and I told them what I was really going through. Two of those friends came into town to South Carolina from states away to visit and stay with me. 2 different weekends. And I continue to talk to friends daily, close friends, about what I'm going through and about what they're going through. Either in person I talk or over the phone or at least through text messages. Every day I've got to talk to friends. No more isolation. No more bottling up. I also reached out to a support group at the church I go to. I started going to it every week. It was hard and humbling for me because I thought I was the guy who's supposed to lead support groups. And I do lead support groups. I lead 5 of them per week for men. But now I needed one for some new issues I'm facing that I've never dealt with before. And it has helped big time. I also signed up for an online support group to help me with my health issues and my chronic pain. It's a mind-body healing approach led by 2 coaches. The group meets twice per week online and it's been helping me. I've made some progress. I also went to visit some family in North Carolina. Been there to visit quite a few times over the last few months. It's where I'm at right now as I'm recording this. Just needed to get away, be around some family. Needed some love and support through this storm. Number 4, what else have I done? I got moving. I began being more active. I'm talking about walking, hiking, going to the gym, push-ups, pull-ups, crunches, whatever. And because of my health condition, I can't do as much as some guys do, but that's okay. I can't CrossFit. I can't do F3. I can't power lift, but I do what I can do. I keep moving. Even on the bad days when I feel like total crap, I still will get out and keep moving, even if it's just walking my dog for a mile. I won't quit. I get outside. I keep moving. Even today, for my lunch break, I hit a trail with my dog and we banged out 2 miles on the trail. And while I'm on the trail, I'm stopping and I'm getting in some sets of push-ups and assisted pull-ups and air squats. And I just move. I'm doing something to get through the storm. Number 5, I also do a lot of journaling. I get things out of my head and I get it onto paper. It's how I work through things. It's how I process, plan. It's how I examine things. It's how I even take things and I reframe them and I refocus on what truly matters. Every day in my journal, I also write out at least 10 things I'm grateful for. I could focus on everything going wrong in my life. I could focus on all of my symptoms and my pain. And I've done that for years. But what good does that do? What's going right in my life? Why don't I focus on that? And that's what I've been teaching myself to do. I write it down. Dude, it's a biblical command to give thanks always, no matter what you're going through. Why does God tell us to do that? Because he knows that we naturally have a negativity bias that will destroy us. We need to make ourselves focus on the good constantly. Keep giving thanks. Well, I hurt. Doesn't matter. Find something to give thanks for. I'm in pain. Life's not fair. Life sucks. It's hard. There's something good. There's something going right. Find it and give thanks. Number 6, what else has helped me through the storm? I examine my life and I own my crap. I examine my life and I own my crap. All of us make mistakes. All of us have caused some damage to ourselves and others, but not all of us own our crap. We make excuses. We blame others. We play the victim. As a man, I've needed to own my crap. I apologize when I need to. And I go get help to make changes so I don't cause more damage. This is what I've been doing for years. It's what I'm still doing. I just wish others would do the same. Own your crap too. Apologize, get help, make changes. None of us do life perfect. That's why we're constantly told to forgive one another. Number 7, what else has been helping me through the storm? I eat very clean and healthy. Yes, I'll have a treat every now and then. But what I have as a treat doesn't look like a normal person's treat. I don't go all in like they do. I don't have the whole piece of cake with a piece of pie. I'll have a sliver. I eat very clean, organic, all natural. I read the ingredients of what I eat. I drink a ton of purified water. I take vitamins and supplements daily. I avoid gluten, sugar, dairy, and processed crap. Yes, I'll have a treat every now and then, but it's not the majority of what I put in my body. Number 8, what helps me through the storm? I make sleep a priority. You know, the majority of the healing our body and brain does, even emotional healing, is when we are sleeping. We have to get enough sleep to heal and recover from the stress of life. Now, with my health issues, sometimes I have to rest more than the average person. Oh well, so what? Get over it, Jason. Life could be far worse. Number 9, what helps me through the storm? I have a great dog. I love spending time with him. It's my chocolate lab, Remy. I'm not kidding, man. He brings much joy and comfort to my life. It is crazy what a good dog will do for you when you're going through a storm. I swear I like him better than most people on the planet. He helps calm me down. He makes me laugh. Just lets me know sometimes you're not alone. Number 10, last one. What do I do to get through the storm? I work hard to keep a victor, never quit mentality. A victor/never quit mentality. I work hard at that. And I feed it every day with music, podcast, audiobooks, YouTube videos, sticky notes, whatever it takes to feed my victor/never quit mentality. Dude, I feed it. I refuse to be a victim. I kill all self-pity. I stop the complaining. I reframe what I'm going through. And as hard as it is, as hard as this storm is, I'm freaking making an adventure out of it. Here we go. Let's go. I'll make it a hero's tale. Let's go. Some days I got the right mindset with it, and some days I don't. I gotta fight. Sometimes I lose sight and I get down and it gets dark. But I don't quit. I work hard to keep a victor, never quit mentality. I may get knocked down repeatedly, but I will rise every time. I don't quit. Quitting is not an option. And I beg and I pray for God. God, help me to persevere, not quit, to finish the race, to fight the fight until the end, to keep the faith no matter what happens to me. I have some critics lately who've come at me hard. Come at me, curse me, blame me, falsely accuse me, threaten me, slander me. I won't quit. You just give me fuel to become healthier, stronger, wiser, more loving, better, godlier. You just fuel me. And I refuse to hate you. Critics, haters. So to wrap things up, life is hard, life's not fair, and being human hurts, my brothers. Do what I'm doing. Do some of it. Listen, accept it, embrace it, prepare for it, trust God through it, give it all to Him, and do these things I'm telling you. Try it, and you will come through the storm. So the question comes up. Is the GRIZ back? Can we expect new episodes? Maybe some new interviews to motivate all of us to be better men? You're dang right, my brothers. The GRIZ is back. That is the plan. Even if I'm walking through hell, if I'm a freaking mess getting on the microphone and you hear it in my voice, I've decided you can walk through hell with me. So to close out, do me a favor, my brothers. Number one, wherever you listen to the GRIZ podcast right now, hit that subscribe button. Leave us a quick rating and review. That would help. If you listen on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up for this episode. Leave a comment. I will respond. Number two, if you'd like to connect with me, my email is in the show notes, jason@narrowtrail.com. I love hearing from our listeners. I will email you back. Number three, if you'd like to learn more about my ministry with one-on-one coaching for Christian men, or about the online men's groups that I lead to help guys with things like pornography addiction, those are called Climb Teams, go to our website to learn more. You can fill out the online applications. That's narrowtrail.com. And lastly, we are coming to the end of the year. And if our ministry is a blessing to your life, then be a blessing back to us by making a tax-exempt donation of any amount. That would really help us as we close out 2024. I'll be honest with you, we need it. We lost a few of our large donors this year, and so that would help. You can do that on our Give page at our website, narrowtrail.com, or you can take your phone right now and you can text the word GIVE to 301-888-6860, 301-888-6860. It's going to send you a link to set up a donation with your credit or debit card. I promise it's safe, it's secure, it's easy, and if you want to leave just a one-time donation or set up a recurring donation, you can do that. You can cancel anytime. I really appreciate it. If you're not in a position to do that, I don't care. I'm just glad you're here listening. We would not exist without the generous donations of listeners just like you. So that's it for now. I will be back at you soon, Lord willing. GRIZ is out.